Hello, everyone. This is Dana Alderman, your instructor for DES 250 Portfolio Design. This is the Wednesday session for week 1. So I just want to let you know why I come on camera is to make it more personable. And so you see there's somebody on the other side of the lecture screen. Since we are online, it makes it really hard to be able to get to know one another. So I'd like to see a few of you in lecture, hopefully, and get to know you a little bit. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get off camera, and we're going to start session. I'm going to share my screen. Today, we are going to talk. I'm just going to go over the discussion. Again, the resume tips, the worst typefaces that you can use that I will not accept in your resume, and then I will do a demonstration. Okay? So your week 1 discussion, as we talked about yesterday, it's 150 words. Make sure that you get that in by tonight. And two peer posts, 50 word a piece. And make sure that you use APA formatting. Now, sometimes you have a discussion that provide your opinion. Well, regardless of whether it's opinion based or not, you still need to provide an APA citation. So say, for instance, that you talk about, well, this week's is, where you find the information about what's best for an online portfolio. But say you're looking for a position in the industry and your opinion is that, you want to find an illustration job. Why does that require an APA reference? Because you don't know all there is to know about the industry. So you go out and you research according to whoever the source is. Illustration is among, what's the popular vote about illustration work, or where is it in the industry? Those are the types of things. So you need to make sure that you're using APA references. If you don't, I will take points off. It's part of the requirements of your college education, right? All right, now that we got that out of the way, you will be doing your Behance. Oh, I got the wrong course up. Sorry about that. Okay. Your assignment for this week, other than your your discussion, is your resume, okay? Make sure you also submit your portfolio link as well, okay? So the graphic design resume. The one thing about the graphic design resume, it is not like any other resume out there. It is not a business resume. You can use information from your business resume. However, you need to adapt it according to graphic design. So your resume is just as important, if not more important, than your portfolio sometimes. But then it goes both ways too, because sometimes people think that the portfolio is more important, which it very well can be. But to get your foot in the door, to make your first impression, you must have a graphic design resume. Now, does this mean that we should be using Microsoft Word? No, it does not. It means that we should be using the software that we've been using throughout our degree program. Show our skill sets, right? It's your first chance to be able to impress the employer. Imagine if you apply for a position and there's only one position available, how many do you think are applying? Probably quite a few. Especially if it's a really big position. Many companies, they're hiring that they don't even have a hiring manager. They rely on somebody that their HR department, and they don't know any difference between graphic designers, right? They just know what they see. They're trained in, do they have good, does it stand out from amongst their designers? Does it work very well? And then it goes over to the hiring manager, of graphic design, and then from there they do they throw everything out, you know, based on whether or not you have done that. I mean, whether you're unique, whether you showcase principles of design, things like that. And I will show you how to literally how to pick it apart as far as the resume. That'll be, I believe, next week. I'll touch on a few parts of it this week, but next week we're gonna tear each other's resumes apart. And I'm actually going to take one of my resumes, bring it in here that I purposely made so it's not on the up and up, if you will. It doesn't showcase all the principles and stuff. So you guys can help me to fix it. The more you know how to fix it and why we fix it and why it's not cohesive, the better you are as a designer. Okay? So with this assignment, you will not be using anything but InDesign. InDesign is a program that is based on layout design, right? You can use your CSS 299 document, but you're going to adapt it, okay? Instead of an objective, we're going to talk about these things. You're going to use a personal statement, okay? You don't want to see any objectives, okay? We are not applying for business positions, all right? You cannot use placeholder text. If you submit anything with placeholder text or a Microsoft Office document, I will kindly say, I'm sorry, I will not accept this. Please redo this and revise and resubmit. Okay? Then lastly, make sure that you're communicating and not decorating. We are in the business of communicating through design elements, right? Communicating messages by using typography, color, logo design, layout, principles of design, okay? So don't just put elements on your resume because you simply feel like they look good. Now, I will say, I mean, in past experiences, we've said no photos on your resume. However, that's becoming a big trend. You know, I'm going to leave that up to you. A lot of people like to use their image on there and kind of gives them a first-hand look. However, sometimes I will tell you, I've done, when I send my resumes or when I've done my resumes, I've never put an image on there because I don't want to give anybody an opportunity to judge me before they even know who I am. And we don't even know out there. This is a judgmental society, you know. I hate to say it that way, but that's what it is. It's very judgmental. You know, if, you know, you're a little overweight, they might judge you for that. If you have blonde hair, they might judge you for that. Maybe they just don't like the way that you look. Maybe because you don't want to smile or you can't smile a certain way, or, you know, people just make fun of people and just, it's so judgmental. It's sad. It is really, really sad, but that's my reasoning. Now, that's not everybody. That's not every place. You can make a decision based on how comfortable you are with it, okay? And sometimes, you know, people, they use their image to put a face on their resume to say, hey, this is me. Maybe you have a really nice image that, you know, shows confidence or something like that. I'm not discouraging you either way, if that's what you want to do. And so I'm just want to give you, put the information out there, and then from there, you will make an advised choice, okay? So when you are done, you are going to save it as a PDF, and it's going to be DES 250 resume, first and last name PDF, okay? All right, this is worth 80 points. The breakdown on this is going to be the good use of typography. This is going to be where paragraph styles and headings, subheadings, body, kerning, tracking, leading, okay? Good use of crap, contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. Grammar and spelling. And then this right here, you will get 0 if there is. You get minus 16 points if you are not submitted by the deadline. Okay? All right, let's jump over here. All right, so in the resume, you want to be sure that you're paying attention to detail. Just like any other of the assignments in this course, it will cost you points if you don't follow directions to the letter. More importantly, it might cost you an opportunity to gain a position in the industry. Okay? Your resume should showcase you as a designer and tell a complete story about your skills, your qualifications, experience, and it goes hand in hand with your portfolio. Now, this isn't a place to put all your personal details either. I like chocolate cake, and I mean, it's kind of, some of it is just a no-brainer, right? And you're probably giggling right now, but I've seen it, you know. And then really, to put your hobbies in here in a graphic design resume is not a good thing either. If they want to know what your hobbies are, they're going to ask you, okay? So at this point, you know, you don't want to talk about, well, I've spent all my life worried, or not worried, all my life dreaming about this day and dreaming about being a graphic designer. They don't care. I'm going to tell you, they don't care. They want to know what you bring to the table, period. Okay? And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that because we want you to stand out amongst the clutter. We talked about that yesterday, or Monday. You want to stand out amongst the crowd of other designers, okay? Employers are going to see your resume before they even think about looking at your portfolio, okay? So think of your resume as putting yourself on a page through the use of professional information and visual expression. It is your chance to impress your potential employers with your abilities as a graphic designer. And as I said, your aim is to stand out above the crowd of resumes. Imagine this. You go and you apply for a position. They have somebody that's looking through the resumes, and there's a spelling error. Automatically, that resume is going to either A, maybe you can answer me. A, it'll be put into the pile to continue on. B, it'll be put in a pile for possible later use. Or C, it'll be put in a pile just to file away. And I'm going to tell you it's C, because if they find a grammar error or spelling error, they're not going to want you. Our jobs as graphic designers is paying attention to those minute details all the time, not just some of the time. Yeah, we do make mistakes, but when you can help it, try not to. I guarantee it. When you think it's done, look it over 5 more times. Okay? So you want to also make sure that you are doing your resume as a person, as a designer, a physical, personal person, rather than your business. So the name of my business is Perpetual Designs. I don't want to do a resume based on my company, because potential employers are going to be like, well, if they got their own company, why do they need to come here and work? Are they coming here? They're going to take my clients and then they're going to go back? What's going on here? They're automatically going to take their resume and they're going to think, okay, no, this is a no-go. Right? I know I would. I mean, there's been a few times that I've looked for a few people to work for me, and they've got their own little companies. Hey, you get a little, okay, well, are they going to take my clients? Well, the thing is they're not, first of all, most companies, if they're smart enough, they're not going to allow you to have any of their clients until the names and numbers and things like that until you're solid. But anyway. So be sure that you are designing your resume. It means that you're using InDesign, no Microsoft Word, Illustrator, or Photoshop, okay? So let's talk about the principles of design. How can we create or strengthen principles of design in our resumes? First of all, I gotta save that. Sorry about that. First of all, contrast. Contrast is the variation between what? Shape, size, color, bullet points, typography. What else? Size, texture. Okay? And then repetition. Repetition is easily shown by using the same typefaces, the same colors throughout the document, using consistent alignments, the same alignment types, continued use of bullet points to set the information apart. Alignment is everything must be aligned to something on that page, right? So that means if you are using left align, you want to continue using a left align. Maybe you have a couple different alignments. Maybe you've got a left align and then you've got a center align. In some cases, that does work. Take, for instance, the Gino's menu. Maybe the titles on the top of the section titles are centered, but the rest of it's left align. Well, you go down the page or down to the next section, the section title should be center aligned, right? Because it needs to be the same. Same goes with your resume, okay? Now, say for instance, with your resume, there's really not a whole lot of titles other than your name and stuff like that. So you're probably going to do left align. You might do some center align. It all depends, okay? And then the other part of this is you can use a baseline grid. It really helps to align the information across the page. Think about proximity. Proximity is grouping like information together or creating a connection, right? A lot of designers, they put their information at the top of the page, and then at the bottom of the page, they put their email address or their website address or something like that. As long as it is aligned the same way, that's still showing some sort of connection, right? So make sure that you are not putting too much space between to show that information. So they look like they're together, they're not standalone, and pay attention to the minute details. Every element on your resume should have a reason, every one of them. Not simply because you like it, not simply because it looks good, not simply because it needs something else. It doesn't work like that. White space is your friend. If it's done correctly, you can get away with minimal information on your page, okay? Think about less is more, okay? So you want to put some thought into typography. Avoid using too many typefaces. Usually we don't use any more than 3. I usually use about 2, sometimes 3, depending. It helps you to build on the graphic design principles, and it helps simplify an effective design. You want to stay away from a bunch of different decorative fonts and default typefaces such as Times New Roman or Arial, and we'll go into that a little bit later. Be sure that you're using the right size typeface for readability, and so the hiring manager can scan the document for information they are looking for easily. So with that right there, the right size of body copy. Does anybody know what size body copy we should be using? No more than 10 to 11. And I'm sure you see that down at the bottom. As far as headings and subheadings, if you, like in our resumes, we have 2 subheadings. I call them 2, subhead 1, subhead 2 is what I use in my resume. One is a little bit bigger, and that's probably a 24, 26. And the next one down would be more like a 22, 18, no, 20 and or 22. Kind of show difference in hierarchy, you know. So we never want anything bigger than that, because if you, I mean, sometimes you can put a title, you know, that's not an issue. But after that, you don't want to, you really, really don't want any really, really big titles. All right, so you want to create a color theme, and I'm going to actually take you over to, we're going to talk about color themes, and I didn't put that on the front page. I should have. We'll do right here, Adobe Color Libraries. This is very fun. Oh, get back up there. Okay. Right there. All right, so color theme. Now, when I say a color theme, it doesn't mean to just simply use pink and white or green and white or blue and white, okay? Really put some thought into it, okay? Just because you have blue on the back of the page doesn't mean you have a color theme. Say, for instance, look at this here. There's a blue on the back page, but look, there's black, and there's a couple other kind of blues that are in this as well. That is what is called a color theme, okay? Now, if you simply just have something on the back page, that's not a color theme. That is adding color to the background, okay? So avoid using too many colors, making sure that your color themes are, in fact, using the color theory principles that you have used in your color theory class, right? You don't want to use too many overpowering colors because chances are they're going to put them away, right? Avoid using images other than your logo. Now, if you want to use a graphic or something like that, that's small for like glyphs or something like that, okay. Or if you want, say for instance, you have an illustration that you've done, maybe to kind of give them a preliminary look at your work at hand. I have a couple students that have put their illustrations right into their resume. Okay. Graphic elements must have a purpose. If they're added, they should strengthen your layout design. Now, I do want to mention something about scales. A lot of students put scales from 1 to 10 as far as proficiency. You can do that if you are looking for a position like layout design and it shows that kind of thing, or if your proficiency in Photoshop is more and you're actually trying to gain a position in those. But I would highly tell you, I mean, I wouldn't put that in there, to be honest with you, because you're basically telling them that you're only at the basic level or you're not as good in one area as another. Now, granted, we have strengths and weaknesses. All of us do. But when you're putting on there something like this, let me show you what I'm talking about. Graphic. Here. Graphic design resumes. Okay, say something like this. Adobe Photoshop, right? But then look at this, Adobe Flash, Adobe Dreamweaver. I mean, you could put it in there, but here's my thought. If you do not have strengths in it, don't put it on there. If it's only a 1 or a 2, I wouldn't even bother. Just don't put it on. Okay? So like your languages, this is actually really cool how they have that set up. I'm actually going to use this right here. I love this setup right here. There's a few things that I'm going to do, kind of play with it. Okay. And you know what? Notice this. This is boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. I mean, it is neat and clean, but there's just so many lines going through here. Try to open it up. Give it a little bit of air. I absolutely love when, you know, these like this actually works really well. So we'll play with some different ways and things like that. This is pretty Pretty cool. Look at that. Only thing is, and so you got education. That's this one. Experience. That's this. And skills down here. But if you look up here, I'm not quite sure which one's which. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're naming. I see. I can't even see that. Is that something on there? I'm gonna put something on my screen. Let me see. It is pretty cool, though. Where'd it go? Gotta love it when it doesn't show up. No, it's all right. Let me view image. BFA. See, that doesn't make sense to me. You've got one. There's only one arrow, but this arrow's not here. So I kind of would turn that a little bit, I bet. Printing technology. That's kind of cute, though. Not too bad. Do some, I mean, you can even, if you are in infographics, if you do infographics, you could do something like that as well to show your skills, preliminary skills, right? There is one that I saw. Where is it? Not quite sure. It was just very, very, oh, I think, is that it? Yeah. This one is so overbearing. I mean, I can't follow it. I just can't. There's just way too much information to kind of process here. So simplicity is a really, really good thing, okay? There's just too much to process here. This one is straight to the point. Love how they did this down there. This is straight to the point as well. But I mean, there's a lot of information to process, but it's neat, it's clean. Love this resume. Not a big fan of this part of it here, but I like everything else. So that's just, I mean, some of it's personal preference. Okay. So let's jump back over here. All right. So your resume tells potential employers what you bring to the table. So these are some of the elements that are important to include. Your contact information, which includes your logo, your name, your phone, your email address, and this right here, graphic designer. You can also put, infographic designer if you want to. Some students have photographer. It's up to you. If that's part of who you are more than welcome to put that in there. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Now, the one thing about your resume, you do not want to put anything in here that does not showcase your graphic design talent, right? So with your contact information, you're going to put your personal statement. Your personal statement, it's not going to be about business. It's not going to be about, you being an entrepreneur, selling things or whatever. It's going to be about what you bring to the table, especially if you're applying for a graphic design position. You want to stay away from generic statements such as, I'm a graphic designer and I'm here to meet your needs. They know you're a graphic designer apparently because you are applying for the position. Well, there might be a chance that you're not a graphic designer. I don't know. But the example below is from my resume, and it's passionate and creative designer with a keen sense of dynamic advertisement, layout, and logo design. Dedicated to delivering a solution that is relevant to target markets while catering to the client's needs and overall satisfaction. Now, please do not copy this. This belongs to me. This is from my statement. But you can kind of change things around. Let's sit and think about this first sentence here. Passionate and creative designer, right there. That talks about me, talks about my personality, and kind of what I bring to the table to a certain degree, right? With a keen sense of dynamic advertising, layout, and logo design. This talks about what I can do for them, right? The types of technical skills I can do. Then this whole sentence right here talks about what I bring to the table. I am dedicated to delivering solutions that are relevant to the target market while catering to clients' needs and overall satisfaction. Okay? You also want to put experience. This is only if you have been in the graphic design industry. Now, if you have not been in the graphic design in this industry, you can put other experience, but this goes at the very bottom of your resume. Okay? Let me actually write down here. Other experience at the very bottom. Now, the reason why I say that is because some students have not had a position in any industry, and they have been working, say, for McDonald's or for Subway or for the newspaper or for wherever you've been working for. And a lot of these places, they want to see that you've actually had work in the industry. Excuse me one second. Seems like every time with the mailman. Anyway, you will want to put the other experience because they will want to know that what you've been doing, right? You've been going to school, but you were still, that you have a good work ethic, okay? So if you do have experience for the graphic design industry or the other industry, you're going to put the name of the company first. It is going to be in bold. I'm going to show you how to set this up. It's going to be bold. Where's your company located? You can just put the state, okay, the date of employment or when you were in the position, and a small description that says what you did while you were there. And focus on the achievements, such as increased sales due to a campaign that you designed, or maybe increased morale on the team or something like that, if it is for under other experience, okay? Now, if you don't have any experience in the industry or any experience, which is no big deal, you can write in capabilities. I'm sure you've done things in the industry, or you've had a position somewhere, whether it be a nanny, whether it be a babysitter, whether it be a mom, a dad, maybe you've done, I don't know, painting or anything like that. Turn your capabilities into experience. For instance, if you're a babysitter or a nanny, you have the ability of multitasking. It is huge with kids, right? Experience in managing multiple projects. Leadership skills. Maybe you worked at as a manager. Maybe you speak more than one language. Okay? Can you think of more that you can put on here as capabilities? I'm going to translate some of this stuff anyway. Then your education. You're going to make sure that you put your education that is pertinent to your graphic design only, nothing else. You do not need a high school education on here. It is implied because you've already gotten your degree. Okay? So you're going to put the name of the university, the degree, and the major. Now, Bachelor's of Science or Associates of Applied Science. You don't need this word degree, okay? Because we all know it's a degree, right? And then you're going to put the month and, oh, I'm sorry, not the month and year. This next one's going to be graphic design, okay? That's your major. Let's take that out. and the month and year of your graduation. Okay? Then you want to concentrate on your technical skills and your practical skills. Technical skills can be also software skills. So Adobe Creative Suite CC, then you'll list them out, okay? Now notice Adobe Creative Suite CC is bold, right? That's because that's introducing the list, right? You can do the same thing with Microsoft Office. I would just put Microsoft Office 2011. You don't necessarily need to list that out at all because you're trying to obtain a position in the industry as a designer, not as a business office, okay? Your interest and hobbies should be reserved for interviews, like I said previously, okay? Now your practical skills, I don't have a slide for that, but your practical skills can be a list of some of the things that you've done. Color theory, typography, branding and identity, layout design. What else can you think of? Web design, illustration, anything else? Anything else that you've learned, okay? And that you are good at. So a good practice in the creation of a resume is to define a grid structure to start out with. Utilize columns, right? It helps to improve readability. It prevents tiring on the eye. And as a general rule, you do not want to have no more than 9 to 10 words per column length because it gets really, really hard to read after a while. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on your live areas, which are your margins. It prevents type from running off the side of the page. Give me 1 second. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. So it prevents type from running off the side of the page. It also helps to give a little bit of white space. The more white space, the better the information flows. So use of baseline grids increase readability for an easier flow of information. Using paragraph styles for type, bullet points, subheads, headings, it helps create consistency throughout your whole entire design. Shows good use of the design principles, and it also shows that you know how to use paragraph styles. And then defining that color theme that we talked about. And we're going to go and we're going to define a color theme here shortly. It further strengthens the principles of design, creates interest on the page. So one thing about our color theory we're going to go back to is, as a general rule, you should have a dominant color, right? An accent color, and what else? A supporting color. Okay? So then after everything, we can probably put, and I don't know why, this should be actually up here, I think. Keep education awards. Oh, sorry about that. Somehow it got, yeah. Somehow it got out of order somehow. Capabilities, education, awards. Okay, let's go back. So your awards or certificates, it should be pertain to your graphic design field. Example, if you attend Design Club, Coffee with Creatives, AIG membership, you have Adobe certifications, any of it should be put on your resume. And it should state in bold the name of the award, the organization that you received the recognition from, the location of the organization, and the date of the recognition. Okay? And then the last thing that you want to do is you want to spell check. It is super, super important. I've done it several times where I get ready to go send something off and I realize, oh no, I didn't do a spell check. Or I've done the spell check. And the problem with the spell check is it doesn't pick up every single word. Maybe you meant to say sale, S-A-I-L, I don't know, instead of sale, S-A-L-E. It really it makes a difference. It's paying attention to the really small details. Okay? All right, let's talk about the worst typefaces. Some of the worst typefaces that you could be using is, first of all, let's talk about Times New Roman and Arial, as I said a little bit earlier. Times New Roman and Arial, they're old-time fonts, okay? And they are used for different things. Times New Roman is to write papers, right? And there's no creativity in it, okay? Arial is an overused category, and it's just like the Times New Roman serif version, using the font that's so common and some would say pretty boring. It may be perceived as a lazy choice. However, sometimes, not in a resume, sometimes in design choices and different things, you have no choice when it comes to your client, things like that, because sometimes they really, that's what they want you to use. But you got to do what you got to do, right? So things like Comic Sans, Bradley Hand, brush script, marker felt, anything that looks handwritten, Giddy Up, Tecton, Mistral, those typefaces, they're very, they're the brunt of bad jokes. It tries to be casual, but it comes off as a sloppy kind of design typography. So it says that you're not serious about what you do. So I want you to really, really be careful about using these typefaces for anything that you do. I'm not saying that you can't use brush script or you can't use Mistral, but not in your resume, okay? Same thing with Apple Chancellery, Lucinda Handwriting, Lucinda Calligraphy, Monotype Corsiva, Zaf Chancellery, all these typefaces right here. I don't even know why they're there, to be honest with you. Apple Chancellery is a font that was used for a long time in wedding invitations and things like that. And it just says it's unprofessional that, you know, it's been used so many times. And you don't want to use typefaces that are just used over and over. Like the old standby is Helvetica. You can use Helvetica, but it's becoming overused, okay? So if you're doing, you know, a wedding invitation or something like that, then you could possibly do something like this, but not in your resume, okay? So also stuff like Brigado, Rosewood, Cooper Black, Black Oak, and Wide Latin. They're all really hard to read. The Hobo, definitely. Trajan. I love to use Trajan in certain cases, okay? Now, this would be good for a title in a resume, not a subhead, because once it's shrunk down, it's really hard to see. It's only the use of all caps. It doesn't allow you, it doesn't give you very much variation of typefaces, okay? Brigado is that real chunky text, and let me see. Let's do this. Actually, I'll do this here. Brigado, there it is right there. It's real chunky. It's just very chunky. It's very hard to read, and there's not very much quality in it. Oh, hush, I'm talking to you. Now, be very limiting when it comes to script font, okay? They're really hard to read as well. But if you wanted to use something in your subheadings as a, I don't know what Cardinal. Cardinal is probably really hard to read. But I don't know why I got that. I think I got that with a, I don't even know. Trying to think here. Okay, so Brack script. So something like that. You could use it in headings, but look at how much the quality is lost. And if that's the case, with these, you'll have to make them a little bit bigger. Okay? I'm not a big fan of that type of what do you call it? Script typefaces. Sometimes I use them every once in a while. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but okay. All right. So that, and I'm going to send this to you along with the worst typeface, worst fonts right here, RTF. I'll send that, and I will send this so you know. Please do not use these typefaces. Okay. Now just put these over here. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break. And then I'm going to come in and we're going to do a demo on the resume. So I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee, get up and stretch you guys for a minute. It's really important, and that's what I want to talk to you too about is when you are designing this module, you have a lot of work to do. You might get frustrated at times, you're not sure about certain things. Get up, walk away from the computer, go look outside, sit on the front porch for 5 or 10 minutes, and come back with fresh eyes. Because it really, really helps us as designers. Guarantee you. You have to force yourself to do that. Okay? All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and I'll see you in a few minutes. All right. Let's jump over into InDesign. First, I'm going to show you an idea. This is just an idea that I did last module. Whoops, get back over there. Show you preview presentation mode. That's one of the ways you can do it. And notice that the white space is pretty balanced. Well, not quite there. Zoom out just a little bit. I'm going to group this. Not yet. All right. Is that? I don't know what that was. There we go. I'm going to group that. And I'm going to align that to the center of the page there. All right. I think it works pretty well. References available upon request. I probably could make that pop out just a little bit. Not quite. I think I went a little darker on that green. Is it that one right there? Okay, that one's fine. Should make it a little bit bigger, to be honest with you. This is 11. Let's go. That's good. This is 15. Okay, we're good. So that was a final outcome. I've got these right here, these icons. And then I'm going to see if I can't find other ones as well. Okay, so let's jump in. Forgive me, it's really warm. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go New Document. And I'm just going to do one. There's no facing pages. And I'm going to do a letter. If you cannot, if yours comes out pica like that too, you can go close everything and go to Preferences and Units and Increments, and you can change it to inches if you want to. Okay. I like to use picas, so. I'm going to File, New Document. I'm not using any margins and columns right yet. I'm just going to just do one, take the facing pages off, and say OK. Now, I usually go to margins and columns through here. That's the first thing I do is I go to my pages, double click on my A master, edit, layout, margins and columns. You're probably wondering, well, why are you using a pages? If I want to eventually build a cover letter or a reference sheet, I want it to be in the same as format as my resume. So I usually start there anyway. So I can, let's do 1, 2, 3. Let's do 5 maybe. I'm going to start with a 5 and a 2 pica gutter. Yep, I think I'm good with that. And we're going to do a 2 pica margins. Top. We're going to do more like a 5 for the top. Okay, good. This is all according to the way that you design. Now, I mean, it gives me more space up the top. Like, for instance, I'm going to bring my new logo in. I'm going to File, and I'm going to just place my logo in here. I have a couple different logos I'm working on. I've got this new logo right here that I really, really like. I'm going to go here to Options and show Import Options and Open. Now, if I show that Import Options, this gives me an opportunity to come in here and just bring this in like that. I'll do like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to maybe make this a little bit bigger, possibly. I could. I think maybe make it a little bit bigger. I want it to kind of stand out a little bit. Come on. There we go. Hit W on the keyboard. There it is right there. It's nice, clean, to the point, right? The thing is, if I put a background on this, I haven't finished this yet. And this logo, if I were to use any background colors, it doesn't really work with a background color. So say, for instance, I'm just grab pink for the moment. Not that I would use a pink, but I'll send it to the back and watch what happens. See that? So in this case, for this to work, I would need to probably cover it with a white, which I'd be completely fine with. I don't necessarily need all that, but that might be an idea. But I'm not doing that right now. All right, so W on the keyboard, and then I'm going to come over here, and I've got resume text, and I'm going to open it up. And I would just was prepared ahead of time because it was something that I just got to do, right? I'm going to copy this, and I'm just going to close it because I don't need it. I would suggest you do the same thing. Now, let me explain what I just did. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to paste that in. Now, that is called text edit. If you've never used it, come up here to the top to your, I call it a spyglass. It is your spotlight search, okay? Just type in text edit. When you type in text edit, it'll come up in this menu, and then you just double click on it. When you double click on it, it will open this for the first time, right? When you open it for the first time, let me move this over here because it's this right here. And I keep it open because I don't want to forget to put it in the announcements for you guys. All right, so when you go to text edit, it'll open up and, all right, that's all right. That's fine. This will come open just like this, okay? You can do a new document. You can do options if you want to. You can go and you can open some of your documents, whatever, okay? And do a new document right there. Or you can do file and new here. Or you can open recent, whatever you choose to do, okay? So resume, that's not the one I want. I want worst fonts, okay? I'm gonna close resume text because I already have it. Now, if you want to keep it in here, just right click here, options, and keep in doc, okay? All right, I use this for everything. It's like a miniature Microsoft Word on steroids to me. I use it for everything. The problem is with Microsoft Word, when we're using Microsoft Word, it takes the formatting and you put it into InDesign, and it can drive you insane, right? Well, in this case, you can take this, and let me just do a new document. File. Actually, no, I'll use this. What happened to that? I don't know what happened there. Okay. That's weird. All right. So I'm going to go to File, or I'm going to Format, and I'm going to make this plain text. It's going to take all that formatting off, so I don't have to worry about it. Look at that. I can undo it if I want to. See, this is Helvetica, and it might bring it in as Helvetica, but I don't want any of that right now, okay? All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some paragraph styles first, okay? I don't need the words contact information, and I don't need my name because it's kind of redundant. I have my name up here. All I want is my phone number, my email address, my website address. Do I need anything else? Phone number, email. That's probably it. I'm going to do a Command X. And Command V. I'm not sure if I'm going to put my name, put this under here. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm just kind of placing it where I think I might do it. But now, I'm not going to use Minion Pro because this is a default typeface by InDesign. And if you think that potential employers will not realize it, you're wrong. They do know. They work in the programs, okay? I need to find out, actually, before I do that, I want to find out my new logo. And, okay. I want to open that up. I want to find out what type is. I'm thinking it's Avenir. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. I just made it with another class, and I just loved how it turned out. So I've just been kind of working little by little on it, kind of getting an idea whether or not I'm gonna. Well, where is it? Let's see. Oh, that's the different color version. There it is, right there. I don't even know. Oh no, it's Futura. It's been a while. Futura Medium and Futura Light. Okay. All right, that's fine. So maybe I think I'm just going to use Futura then. Let's try. I'm going to do up here, I'm going to Futura. I'm going to keep it all one typeface, but I'm going to use everything, not everything. Everything that I use in here is going to be in this family. Okay, that's 12. I'm going to do that probably a 9 because it doesn't need to be all that big. But right now, that's good. That's the medium. I think I want to do light. I think I'm going to do the book. Okay, so this is the contact information. And then right here, I'm going to use Futura. But I am going to use Futura. Back where I was. There we go. And that's a 9. I'm probably going to use an 11. And I'm going to use medium. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Okay, so this right here is my, I'm going to go to paragraph styles. I'm going to go to option, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to hold that down, and I'm going to name this body. Now, there's a few things that I need to do. I can do my character color first, my black, and I'm going to do an 80% or 90% black. Let's start with that. I'm going to go here to basic character formats. I'm going to look and make sure that my leading is at 12 because everything is based on that. Align to all lines. Make sure. Okay. I'm going to come down here. My character color is done. Bullets and numbering. I don't need any of that. Do I want an indent? No. I'm not going to do any of that. Say OK. Now I can click in here and look. Let's paragraph styles. Still not light enough to me. I want to do more of a gray to kind of give it a little bit more of a difference. It may or may not. Okay. So I'm going to take this. I need to grab my colors here. Maybe I don't want to do that. So, okay. I had it selected. Okay, so that's a blue. It's like a blue color. I'm going to do that. And right there. Double click. I can use RGB or CMYK, but if I was going to print this, you know, I definitely need to make sure that was the right CMYK values, should I say. I'll double click, and I'm going to use CMYK. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right. The reason why I did that is because my personal statement, I'm going to play with this and see. I'm going to use Futura, same thing. Futura, bold condensed. Let's do it this is my, let's do a 20. Ooh, I don't like that. Condensed medium. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a condensed medium to start out with. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make that the blue. Okay. I'm going to just compare to this. It's 11. I think I might even go up a little bit more on this particular, on my personal statement, just because I want that to be a little bit bigger. So that's not going to be every body copy. So I'm going to right click here. I'm going to duplicate this style. I'm going to name this personal because I want my personal statement to stand out a little bit more. And I have a reason. Everything that I'm doing, I have a reason. Okay. I'm going to do a 12 and 12. I think it's a medium. I think I'm good with that. And personal. Look at that. Looks pretty good, actually. Yep. All right. So I'm going to grab this. Not sure what I'm doing with this up here yet. So I have no idea. All right. So I'm going to utilize my columns, and I think I'll do that. 6. I think maybe I'm going to actually need more columns. Oh, I'm on the darn. Well, I'm on my master page, and I should not be. We'll take this out of here. Command X. The pages, double click, and edit, paste in place. There we go. Now this is on my master page, but that's okay. That's what I want. I want that on all pages. But I don't want this on all pages. So I'm just kind of playing with this. I'll go back on my pages, and I need to lay out margins and columns. Try 8. Yep, I think 8 will work. And the reason why I'm changing is because I want, there's certain things I'm going to do here, and I don't have the room. I don't have everything where I want it, where I need it to be right at the moment. I don't know. I might. I have an idea. Bring that off the edge there. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Off the edge right. I'm talking to myself. I do that quite a bit. No. So I'm gonna have to go 9 probably. Let me. What about there is where I need it. So. And see, go over to my pages, double click. Okay. Layout margins and columns. Might be able to back it off a little bit. 7. Okay, we'll go 6. Sometimes it just, it all depends. It all depends on where I am. I kind of like that. Yeah, let's hit W on the keyboard and take a look at that. Pretty cool. Yep, I am very happy with that actually. Page. Yes, I'm liking that. All right, what am I doing with this? I haven't figured this out yet. I think maybe I might bring a line in here. Right here. And one. I'm going to do this. Swatches. Black and 80%. Okay. Okay, I'm good there. We'll just start with this. Let's hit W and keep on bring it down a little bit. There we go. It's lined right there. Back on the pages and I'll go here. All right, so we're good to go. Kind of like that. I really do. I could bump it over just a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. Yep, I think I'm good. I'm liking this a lot. Okay. Now, this is not in the correct order, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of here. Oh, I need to open this up. I don't want that. Okay, so the personal statement is going to reside by itself. And I'm going to show you why. I want that in. Why is it giving me space above? Let me see. I don't know why it's giving me space above. I don't have any space above. Oh, I didn't do the subhead yet. That's why. So I'm going to hold the Option and click. I'm going to name this subhead 1. It's going to have two I'm going to have two subheads in here because I need one for my introductor, and then I need one for inside. So subhead 1, it's got all the color and everything on there that I need. Okay. So I love when that does that. This is body. This is the personal body. Okay. And then this is going to that. I just don't understand. Why is there so much space in here? Oh, that's why. All right. Good. Fixed it. All right. Now, the second part, I'm going to change these to 2 columns. Okay. But I need to do a little bit of do a little bit of moving around. This awards and stuff like that don't belong here. They need to come down here at the bottom, right above that right there. Okay. So education, capabilities, technical skills, practical skills. Do I want? All right, I'm going to kind of move things around and see. I'm going to go to Object, Text Frame Options, and I'm going to put this into 2 columns. It makes things a lot easier on me. I don't have to move anything around yet, right? Bring this up a little bit. All right, so I'm going to delete all the extra spaces because I'm going to adhere spaces or dictate how many spaces I want below my stuff below my subheadings and such. So I'm going to go to paragraph styles. I'm going to subhead 1. I'm just going to go to capabilities. I'm just going to do these right now so I know what where I'm supposed to begin and end when it comes to my subheads. Okay? That way I can just look and say, oh, okay, this is this, this is this. This is, I got to make a subhead 2, so I'm going to right click. I don't want to duplicate the style. Let's see, Adobe Creative Suite. Let me do. All right, I'm going to do a subhead 1. That's way big though. And I'm going to duplicate that. Subhead 2. And I'm going to 15, do a 14 condensed medium italic. Okay. I don't like that. It's got to be smaller than that. Subhead 2. Condensed medium. Yeah, that might work. 12, 13, 14. Condensed medium, that'll work. Let's do character color. Let's try that. I might have to darken it. That's okay. Let's see. Actually, I don't. Nice. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I can just come through here and I can do a subhead 2 there. Microsoft Office, where are you? You should be the rest with the rest of my subhead 2. It should be with the rest of my software, right? I'm just going to do that for the moment. All right, practical skills, awards. It's going to be subhead 1. Now, President's List, this is a second subhead. You see how that's introducing those dates, right? So subhead 2. That's why I did that. Now, I'm going to show you how to change these gutters because they're not lined up. But right now, I'm just kind of playing with it, okay? Now, I've got my Bachelor's of Science, Graphic Arts, graduation November 2012. So I've got this based on body copy, okay? So I'm going to come over here to go to paragraph styles. I'm going to go to body, okay? But in this body copy, I need to duplicate, or actually I don't even need to duplicate the style because I can just make that bullet because I did that top at the top. Now I want to use bullets, but I'm going to use a square bullet because my logo, the edges are really blunt. Okay, so I'm going to kind of look for something that has more of a square. I don't know if Futura has anything. You may or may not. I'm going to do Webdings. There's a square right there. There's a smaller square. That's good. I'm going to add that. And then say OK. And this is what I'm going to do. And I am going to use the orange. I'm going to go to character style, new character style. I'm going to name this orange bullet. Every time I say orange, I think of Warch. Because my kid, when he was like a year, I'd say orange, he'd say Warch. I just can't help it. It's hilarious. But okay, so nothing on that. I want this orange right here. Go over here. I'm going to do probably let's do a 9, letting 12. I'll probably still have to fix it. Position. We'll leave that. And I'm going to say OK. Now, my left indent of my bullet is going to be a 0.125. Okay. My first line indent is going to be a negative 0.125. Whatever you do for the beginning, you have to do for the opposite here, for the left indent. I'm going to say OK. Now, this is going to need bullet. Okay. Now that we have that already set up, now I can come over here and I can kind of change. I'm going to bullets and numbering. Let me kind of change. Oh, wrong one. This. No. Up, 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 up. Move those bullets closer in. And no. Just like, well, not too much. Okay. So thinking about that principle of proximity, right? So I'm going to have to, because I don't want space between my bulleted list, I'm going to have to make a space above my subheading. But I'm going to have to make it a duplicate one, okay? So I'm going to have to duplicate because I don't want space between above these ones, right? The starters. So that's a subhead copy with space, okay? Indents and spacing, space before. And I'll do that. And that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more later. So this is, I'm going to come over here, paragraph style, space above, before. This is actually space before we'll have to do. The space. Take the space out of here. And paragraph styles with space. Okay. Now, remember what I said about making sure that your gutters match, right? Now I have 2 columns here. It's got 4 columns on the page, but it's 2 columns text, which 2 divides into 4 columns really easy, right? But do you remember what I did when I changed my pages, when I changed the gutter? Let's go over here, take a look. Layout, margins, and columns. Look at this gutter. It's a 2 pica. You can just come over here and copy it, okay? I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna go to Object, Text Frame Options, come down to my gutter. Take a look at the gutter. Look at it, it's only a 1. So it's not matching, okay? And then say okay. And it's still not matching. Why? Did I not have it selected? No, I didn't have it selected. That's why. There we go. Now notice that it automatically works. See my leading in here. I need to watch that leading. This needs to be a 12 regardless, but come over here and align, let's see. Subhead 2. Will work. Ah. Subhead with space. Space after. There we go. We got a space before, space after. Not much, so. All right, this one right here is going to be my bulleted list, right? Now there's space there. Why is there space? Oh, there's a space after in that one. So I don't need paragraph style, subhead 2. I don't, oh no, there's no space after. Why is it doing that? I don't know why it's doing that, but we're going to find out. Sometimes it wants to give me a hard time, and it gives you guys a hard time too. And that's my way of showing you, I guess, or it's their way. It's the bullet. Why? Come on. So they give me a hard time showing you that I'm still the same as you guys. There's no space above. I don't get it. Small lines. Could be this one here. So we have two. There's no space. Oh, that's why. All lines, Demi. All lines. There we go. Technical skills. There's a little too much space. So I'm going to come over here and take a little bit of that space out. Just want a little bit, not a lot. There we go. That is much better. All right, so, okay. So practical skills and all that. Let's see. I think I'm going to do this, Command X. And then I'm going to do this. Bring this to the next line. I want my technical skills and my education to stand out a little better. So I'm putting that on this side over here. This personal statement down just a little bit. All right. This is going to be my paragraph style bullet. It's pretty good there. This has got to be a bullet, and I'm going to move this out. This is who's new among students, March 2012. I can bullet this. And the reference request, I'm going to use the second subhead. Let's take a look at that. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me actually take this. Actually, put it under here. This is on request. Kind of, this right here is my second subhead. Ooh, it looks like I have an extra space there. I want no extra spaces, right? Return. It's starting to look really, really nice. I think what I'm going to probably do, I'm going to try something. I don't know that it's going to work, but let's see. Okay. Shift. Command click. To the front. No. Forgive me, guys. My son lost his cotton picking mind, I guess. You have to get back up there. I don't really care for that color. Let me go this color. Let's go with a 10. Maybe even go with a 5. That's probably just way too dark. No, it's too dark. Let me, 2. Maybe I like that. Um, 5. I'm going to go 5. Oh, 5. I love when it does what you don't want it to do. 5. Black. 5. Come on, silly. Oh, I didn't have it selected. That's why. It's 50 now. 55. I'm pretty happy with that. It's kind of aligned, making sure everything's aligned. I'm going to give this a little space though. It just feels like it was too crammed. Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Align that in the box. So right click and fitting and center content. Ooh, that's not going to work, but that's okay. Bump it down a little bit. That works really good. All right, so my education, my technical skills, and I've got a space in here. I don't want that space. Yep. Why doesn't that line up? It should. Ah, that's why. It's with space. I don't know why that's not working. Here we go again. This darn thing, subhead 2. Huh. That is really weird. I don't understand. Subhead 1 with space. It should be a subhead 2. Oh, there we go. And that should be bullet. Oh. Why? Subhead 2. And this would be subhead 1 with space, but why is there so much space? I don't get it. Oh, gotta love it. I don't know why. Okay. Must jump around. All right, let's see here. Capabilities. Graduation November 2000. Oh, I'm just gonna take graduation out. November 2012 right there. Okay. Still, I'm not understanding why. That's an option. Click. It's there. I just don't get it. Subhead with space. No. Technical skills. Subhead 2. Subhead 2. They're all. I'm not going to fight with it. All right. Now notice. Here we go. Notice that this isn't working very well with the spacing. All right. I'm going to double click here. Go ahead, bullets and numbering. Oh, come on, silly. For some reason, it might be just, there it is right there. Okay. But the problem is now I don't have enough room here. So, but I don't want to have these orphans either, right? So I'm going to put tasks. Okay. I don't know what's going on with this one. I don't know why this is giving me such a headache. Doesn't make sense. There's no spacing and all lines are done. I mean, it's all, these are fine, but that's not, I don't know. Let's see if there's something on there. Subhead 1, subhead 2, subhead 2, subhead 1. Oh, that's why. That, how? Okay. That's why. It was supposed to be for the other one. Okay. There we go. I'm going to take that space out of there. And zoom out and take a look at this now. Now I could, if I want to, just stick with this right here. I'm thinking, oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put this on my pages because I have my contact information. I'm going to edit and paste in place. Send it to the back. And I'm pretty happy with that. Command S is in Sam. Resume. You're going to put your DES 250 resume. Okay. And this is mod 8 for me. I'm going to put this in, it's not capstone. Demo 250. Resume mod 8. Save that. Go to here. All right, now what I want to do, I kind of feel like that's got to be a little lighter still. I don't know. Let me go back to pages. I don't want it to be, let's go after me. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's close that gap up just a little bit. Then I'm going to group this together and I'm going to align this to the page. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to wait because I want to, I'm going to do my Microsoft Office and my Microsoft, not my Microsoft, my Adobe. So I'm going to do a file and, oh, before I do that, back over here. File and place. Do icon, resume icons, resume icon. I have them. I know it's in, let's do it this way. Warm, warm, warm. Icons. CC icons. And we'll do Mac icons. We'll do both. Say OK. Say OK. And it'll load. So here's my CC. I'll probably have to make some more space, but it's no big deal. And then Microsoft Office, I'm just going to put right here for the moment. So I have to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, these look really good with this, by the way. All right, I hit W on the keyboard. See what I'm doing. All right. Now, one thing you need to be careful with the Microsoft Office one is you are not applying for a position as a business professional, as far as, you know, like business office per se, okay? So don't make it too big, okay? I'm going to try to see if I can't find other ones as well, okay? Make this a little bit smaller. I don't want it to be too overbearing. I want it to be bigger. Okay. The W on the keyboard. Yeah, could bring that down just a tiny bit. And I think that looks pretty good. That's too much space. Space. That's a subhead 1. It's a subhead 1. I don't. Oh, because there's no. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to. That's fine. It's got to have a little space there. All right. Let's actually zoom out. And I'm going to go ahead and group this. Command G. And I'm going to align this to the page. So align to the page. Apparently my grandson is running around the house. See? Okay. All right. So what's the last thing that I have to do here? I have to do a spell check, right? I'm going to edit and spelling. You can keep dynamic spelling on. You hit W on the keyboard, and you can do it that way. Again, though, make sure that you have certain ones that you don't have certain words that are spelled the wrong way, even though they mean something else, right? So edit. Let's spelling and check spelling. This will allow you to go through and kind of see. I'm going to skip that because that's CSS. It says that's the only one that was in there that was an issue. But if I have a duplicate, if I have words that, mean one thing and we mean one thing, but you have another word in there that's spelled differently, you need to make sure of that, okay? All right, from here, we're going to do File, and we're going to save it again. File and export this as a okay. And save. And you don't need any marks and bleeds or anything like that. You can actually use the DES 250, smallest file size thing that we did the other day. And then we can it says there's overset on page 1. Let's see what happened here. It's probably space. Yep, that's probably what it was, space. Come on. All right, let's try it again. File, export, PDF for print, mod 8, no marks and bleeds. And export it. It says page 1. Why? Oh, let's see what's going on here. Ungroup this. Oh, well, that's a good thing. I looked again, huh? What happened? And you know what? I need to go to the personal statement. There's something I need to do. Take this hyphenation off because I don't really care for hyphenation. There we go. Let's try it again. File, export for the last time. Hopefully last time. And export. Don't worry about that. And it opened up on the other page. Negative or minus. Look at that. I think it's actually pretty good. I think it works really well. Maybe this needs a little bit of space. It's too much space. Oh, I see what's happening. Because it is based on subhead 1, it's okay though. Okay. You just have to, that's the whole reason why you want to make sure that you view PDF after exporting. Okay? Oh, that's pretty good. I'm liking it. Doesn't look like it needs more space still. I'll play with it, but this right here probably need more space. It's gonna drive me. This one, sometimes you'll have it exceptions to the rules, so to speak. Let me bring that down just a bit. Maybe bring this one down just a bit. There we go. There, that's fine. Much better. Come on, silly thing. Okay. I want to do that, then I'm going to, whoops, put that in its own box, because I don't, it just feels like it's too much space. I'll be fighting with this thing all day, figuring out exactly the right space. I don't know. Maybe I just need more space here, and I'm just not, could be why. It could very well be why. I do need more space there. All right, let's try that. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. That's what you needed as designers. You just keep going back and checking it to make sure that that's what you need, you know, and that's what you really want. What really works, you know. Okay. And then I'm going to references available upon request. I'm going to put right there, just like so. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Bump that up just a tiny bit now that I put that little bit of, all right. So if there's any questions, guys, email me, let me know. I'm going to put this in the announcements so you have an idea. Do not copy the, what in the world, again? Well, when I moved that, I didn't move these. I had it grouped before, but I think that's what happened. Good thing I open it up and look, right? But I'll put the example in and just let me know if you need anything. All right, guys? I appreciate all your hard work, and I look forward to having you in class with me sometime. I'll talk to you guys later.